Hey guys, John here with Palmer Talk and the New World Podcast. So I am not posting on Palmer Talk necessarily, but I will be posting on New World Order. This is our podcast, and today I'm just doing a simple video showing you guys what's going on right now. So this is the New World, unfortunately, and right now we're looking at something very bad for the world, not just for Brazil. So Brazil gets final wave of crucial Russian fertilizer shipments. So Russia is their top supplier. And right now they're only going to give one more shipment, which it comes very, very soon. So deliveries from Russia, top supplier, to end May 5th. StoneX is the company. Fertilizer shortage in Brazil could impact global food prices. Brazil is getting its last wave of much needed fertilizer from Russia before supplies plunge due to the Ukraine war, potentially hurting harvests in the biggest grower of crops from coffee to sugar to soybeans. Dozens of Russian vessels laden with fertilizer are headed to Brazil with a final ship unloading May 5th, according to StoneX analysts. After that, it's anyone's guess where Brazil, which imports 85% of the fertilizer it needs, will get supplies as war disrupts shipments in Russia, the top supplier. A fertilizer shortage in Brazil could result in smaller harvests and higher food costs globally, given the importance of the South American nation to world crop supplies. Brazil, you see that huge number, 85%. Now, I saw a number, it was 95%. Not just 85%, 95%. So guys, imagine that. They need fertilizer and they produce a lot of crops. And not just for themselves, but for the world. But it will be devastating for Brazilians as well. Obviously, other countries might try to figure out a way to produce more crops in there themselves, the United States included. If they do, I imagine, unfortunately, Brazil would have to import more crops. Brazil requires the crops for themselves. Like most countries, they produce a lot of crops. I mean, some countries don't, obviously, but a lot of countries do, so they can be able to feed their population. Now, if Brazil can't do this, they will not be able to feed their own population, let alone the world. So obviously, they will want to continue to export, but they might not export as much, which will cause food to skyrocket. You know, prices are already super high. I don't want to see it get any higher, but to be honest, I don't see any choice here. I think it's going to get worse. So this whole deal with Ukraine and Russia, not good. Russia is to blame. Ukraine fighting, trying its best. It's not good. I don't blame necessarily only Russia. I blame the United States as well for this whole situation. As you probably know, they were trying to get Ukraine to join NATO, and Russia didn't like that. That's pretty much one of the reasons why, maybe the biggest reason why they invaded. Ukraine is super important to the world supply of crops as well, of wheat, and I think they also produce fertilizer. So this is a huge deal. And we already saw prices skyrocket. Gas prices are skyrocketing. So we don't want to see more of this. This is not good. We'll see imports declining in May and June. StoneX analyst Luigi Bezon, sorry if I said that wrong, said in a telephone interview, the war impact on Brazilian imports is seen higher in the second half of the year. So guys, May and June, not good. All right, that's already right now. All right, we're already in May. That means next month also. I imagine, like I said, probably things will get better, hopefully. People will figure out a way to get more crops. It might not be Brazil, but somebody will, because Brazil needs it for their soil. The soil is not, I guess, capable of producing crops without the fertilizer needed. I think a lot of crops need fertilizer. I think all of them need fertilizer, but Brazil's soil is especially dependent on the fertilizer. All right, it takes 30 to 40 days for a ship to make the journey from Russia to Brazil. No other vessels have left Russia since the start of the war that are heading to Brazil, according to Bezon. The ships currently en route from Russia are carrying around 550,000 tons of fertilizer, with nearly half transporting potash. Fertilizer deliveries from all origins totaled almost 46 million tons in 2021, according to figures from the industry group ANDA. Brazil's fertilizer imports and deliveries in the first quarter are almost steady compared with the same period last year, a record for the sector. That's not good, that's not bad. All right, but they need 46 million tons, and right now only 550,000 tons of fertilizer are going to Brazil. Obviously, they have more before, but this clearly is not enough. It's not going to be enough. It's going to cause huge problems. I already see. So that is all it. Can the world feed itself? Historic fertilizer crunch threatens food security. We're not going to talk about this right here, but we already got here. So I am hopeful. Hopeful things don't get bad, but you can probably expect at least a couple months of food shortages until things get back on track. So unfortunately, we have the war that has not stopped. So we can't look for Russia and Ukraine to work things out right now. Maybe they will. Maybe right now I'm just speaking, and at this moment, boom, breaking news. Hopefully, but for the moment, we're gonna probably deal with some situations. Other countries also, import from Russia because fertilizer. They're I think the number one producer of fertilizer in the world. So it's going to be a problem for many countries. But Brazil, 85%, that's a huge number. Brazil could try to change things, but it would take years for them to be able to actually produce their own fertilizer. So we have to wait, we have to see, we have to hope that other countries will finally come together, help each other out, so that we don't have food shortages, because the poorest of the poor are who suffer the most. And I don't want to see that, guys. I don't want to see people suffering and people dying. Try to do what you can, all right, guys? So I know people always say this, but actually do something. You got to go out there and do it. We can't just wait for the elites. We can't just wait for other people to do something. Go out there and start taking care of business. So that's here from the New World Podcast. Me, John Palmer from Palmer Talk. Peace out. We'll see you again in the future.